We're joined now by former City and England defender Danny Mills. Hello, Danny.
Morning, Danny. How are you, mate?
Good morning, Ali. Morning, Laura.
All right. Well, it was a bit more contested. I was hoping it was going to be more interesting. And after, 10, 12, 15 seconds, I was slightly worried for this game because we wanted it to be exciting. It got there in the end, didn't it? It got a bit better. It got more contested.
Yeah, the atmosphere was absolutely amazing, I have to say. I thought it was, and the Geordies won't like this, I thought it was better than the League Cup final. I thought the atmosphere was absolutely superb. But like you said, I think people were still taking their seats when all of a sudden they're going, oh, well, that's it. It's over. Back to the bar. But, United got themselves back into it with a dubious penalty. But I just thought City had them at arm's length, realistically. That they never, I don't think Manchester United really laid a glove on them. City always looked comfortable within the game. It was always, I know they hit the bar or hit the top of the bar, didn't they? But that was really their best effort. And City, I think, without being great in that game, ended up winning relatively comfortable.
Danny, that's exactly how I saw it, mate. But I want to ask you a couple of players in particular, maybe not the normal main headline grabbers for City, whether it's Haaland or De Bruyne, but Gündoğan, I thought he was absolutely terrific. I think he's been absolutely terrific. How important is it for City to offer him a new contract to entice him to stay? And I want you to talk to me about John Stones at this moment in time, because this new role where he's moving into Miller Park, he just looks perfect for it.
Well, Gündoğan, I think, is vital to keep hold of him. Not just because he's a magnificent player. He's very underrated, I think. He's one of those players that sometimes gets overlooked. But then when you take him out the side, you go, oh, we're not quite ticking. We're not quite working. What was it, 2 seasons ago where he had that 15 goals?
Yeah.
He scored something like that, was absolutely sensational. Back end of last season, scores vital goals, scoring obviously goals in the cup final. I believe City have offered him a deal. I think it's about a year, and maybe he's looking for 2. I'd give him 2 immediately. Yeah. It's not like they can't afford it.
Yeah.
They didn't actually pay that much. And even if he's not going to play week in, week out, it's sort of like that James Milner sort of character. He seems a fantastic professional. He's always fit. His experience is absolutely vital. So I think that is so important to keep hold of him.
I know really, Pep has a way of doing it, Danny, has a way of moving players on that you think still have so much time there. And we never normally doubt him because they don't normally miss that position that they've moved on. I just think after watching him at the weekend and the emotional connection that the fans have with him, they'd be mad, I think, to let him go. But who knows, especially if it's people like Arsenal or the players like that, teams like that.
You've got to keep experience around, Laura.
Yeah,
you've got to keep those sort of players that know how to win. And just think about those young players coming through that can learn from him, not just on the pitch in terms of the way he plays, but the professionalism that he has, the way that he conducts himself.
Yeah.
All those types of things. And sorry, Ali, I've forgotten the second question there. It's early on a Monday morning.
It was just, I'll tell you what it was, mate. It was just, we were doing the man of the match at the weekend, and obviously we gave it to...
Oh, John Stones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was fantastic. It's incredible. Playing as a defender when everything's in front of you is probably one of the easier positions on the pitch because you can see absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Suddenly having to play with your back to goal is completely different without a turn. There was at times where he was in the number 10 position.
Yeah, I know.
He was almost just behind Erling Haaland within that. We always known he's a fantastic footballer. He had that little spell, didn't he, where he seemed to go off it a little bit and struggled a little bit for form. But he's come through that. And I don't even know what his position is anymore. It's almost like he's just given a free role. It's like, just go and play wherever you think the ball is going to be. Because City dominate possession so much, they get away with it. I'm not sure you could get away with it in many other teams, if I'm honest. But City, the way that he's adapted into that role is just superb.
Danny, do you know what was funny? So I was just sat behind the City bench, and every time he had a shot or did something, usually it was probably like when he had a shot, they were really enthusiastically clapping him, and they weren't doing it for any other player. So every time John Stones did something cool or brilliant or had a go even on the pitch, even if it was wide or over or whatever, they were really enthusiastically. Pep was doing it, the staff around him, the players on the bench behind, and I really noticed it was just for him that they were doing it. Do you know anything about that? Is it just encouragement?
I think it's encouragement is to give him belief, to believe that he can play that position. He's keeping it. He's keeping out some seriously good midfielders, by playing that role. I know he drops into defence, But when you look at City's bench and the players that they could play in that role, he's got to keep doing it. He's got to keep producing. He's got to maybe be a little bit more creative. So those claps, those cheers, all that encouragement is saying, yeah, go on, keep doing it. It doesn't matter if you give the ball away in the last third by trying something. That's what you're there to do. You've got to take a risk to get the reward.
Danny, really quick answer. Do you think the treble's going to happen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. There you go. Danny Mills on the Breakfast Show this morning. Thank you very much for your time, mate.
Cheers, Danny. Have a good day, mate.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.